So since the last update, I've made this program suck a lot less. I cleaned up all the code, and I wrote an algorithm that removes melt ponds, and I'm pretty proud of it. It works very effectively, and it doesn't mess with the resolution of the edges of the CIs, which is difficult to achieve with other means of denoising. But as you can see here, it works much better. And I took out some tools that I didn't need, various thresholding tools that weren't very good, and left the good ones. Since I'm pretty proud of this algorithm, I figured I'd take a bit of time to explain what it's doing. So I first created a class called Blob to represent clusters of black pixels. It should probably be renamed now. And inside of this class it has two attributes: the number of points inside the blob and the coordinates of those points. And I have two helper methods just to work with it a little bit easier. So when you click the denoise button, which is called remove melt ponds, it takes this value in the line edit, and it looks at the image that you currently have thresholded. So for an example, it looks at this image, and for every pixel in that image, if that pixel is black, which would be a like sea color or darker melt pond color, it creates an instance of the blob class, and then it iterates on that on the image by checking the neighbors of that pixel. So essentially what it does is it scans left to right, and then as soon as it sees a cluster of black pixels, it looks through them and gets rid of them whilst keeping track of them, and instantiating the blob class. And then once it's found all of the pixels in that blob, it returns the blob, and it goes on to continue scanning the image, so it would find another cluster right here and do the same thing again. So after it's removed all of the clusters of black pixels from the image, I loop over all of the blobs in my list of blob instances, and if the attribute of that blob, if its attribute called number of pixels is greater than whatever is in that line edit, it loops through the coordinates in that instance of the blob and draws a black pixel to the image at that coordinate.